Imagine it is 21 years ago. You turn on your little TV box expecting to see a brand new Adult Swim show about hillbilly squids. And instead, you get this.
Linda, please do bend over in front of me and see if the coals are ashed. Oh. Mother, we're back. Prepare with it. Prepare. Wait. Get ready. Listen to the hot dog.
An anime that is not really an anime. A quest to cure baldness. A villain whose hair is louder than his voice.
I will end you. How about them apples, my young bald eminences.
A hot dog with a catchphrase.
Hey, how about the hot dog?
This isn't a fever dream. You are not tripping acid, although you probably should while watching this. This is Perfect Hair Forever. It's weird, it's chaotic, it got canceled, uncanceled, and fan subbed by Adult Swim themselves. And somehow, it's kind of genius. Today, we are going to be diving headfirst into the wonderfully cursed world of Perfect Hair Forever. We're going to look at what the hell this show even was, why it's still hilarious. I'm going to be doing little synopsises of every single episode. Don't worry, there's only 8 and they're only 11 minutes long, so that section's not going to be too long, you know, don't worry. I'd say spoilers, but you really have to watch it to experience it in its full glory, and probably on like shrooms or something. As well as talk about little fun facts here and there, references, the characters and explaining them. This show's basically just as effed up as Aqua Teen Hunger Force, so, you know, you're buckling in for something big, something crazy. Don't you worry, you're gonna get your fill of just slop today, let me tell you. Grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name's Dakosity Live. If you end up enjoying this video, I have a little catalog of Adult Swim cartoons and just cartoons in general, videos about them and stuff similar to this video. Since this is an anime parody show, technically, I also have a bunch of anime show stuff in there too, if you'd like that. And remember, like, subscribe, hit the hype button. Of course, I'm a very small channel. That'd be very helpful. Anyways, we're gonna hop right in. I'm gonna start the video now. I'm gonna do it, I promise.
Where in the hell are the Confederate flag boogie boards?
Perfect Hair Forever probably has one of the most memorable debuts out of any Adult Swim show ever. It premiered November 7th, 2004, disguised as something completely different. Viewers that night tuned in expecting the Squidbillies debut, as advertised throughout Adult Swim for the entire month. But instead they were greeted with a bunch of opening bumps from Adult Swim, making excuse after excuse as to why the pilot wasn't finished, and they were sorry. They wanted to make it perfect for you and your hair forever. Cheekily revealing Perfect Hair Forever with this Space Ghost title card, titled the same thing, even though Space Ghost is barely in it. Just kind of gets his shit kicked in by a bear and then that's it.
Hey, check it out, man. There's a bear coming. Hey, buddy.
And at the end of the episode, Adult Swim continues the joke by having this technical difficulties thing show up with the hot dog doing its little chant and music and all that nonsense. The network had truly lost their goddamn minds. This was a very bold fake out premiere, and it instantly framed the series as more of an inside joke, and it just set the tone for its very unconventional run. The show was also created by 3 Adult Swim titans: Mike Lazo, Matt Harrigan, and Matt Malaro. Or Malaro, I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry, dude. These people have worked on like everything Adult Swim related. I saw Rick and Morty in there, a Robot Chicken, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. They create like their Ashy McGee, 12-ounce mouse. The list of the things these people have worked on or just flat out created, gigantic. So this show, it's got the right backings, let me tell you, for something to really cook here. They were cooking.
Perfect Hair Forever.
But I have kept you waiting long enough. We are going to hop into actually explaining what the hell this show even actually is right now. We're gonna start with episode 1, the pilot. The pilot begins with us meeting the protagonist, Gerald Bald Z. Gerald, and his very interesting name, very appropriate considering he is balding, is very upset that his hair is, you know, really crappy. It's not perfect. Not by a long shot, considering he looks like he's supposed to be at the very least, a teenager or a young adult, and yet his hair looks like a middle-aged man. So he's at the dojo very upset, telling Uncle Grandfather, yes, that's his actual name. I understand the implications. I wonder if this had anything to do with Uncle Grandpa becoming a thing.
Uncle Grandfather, I want perfect hair forever.
Oh, yes.
The other students laugh at me. They call me retarded hair guy.
Uncle Grandfather is gonna tell him, hey, you know, a bunch of random shit. You gotta go to Tuna Mountain. But before he tells him to go on this quest to Tuna Mountain to get the 9th power or whatever, you know, bullshit, Brenda comes in, and she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's in a thong.
Uncle Grandfather. Ow.
Doesn't say a goddamn lick of dialogue, I think, throughout the entire series, unless you count one scene, but that's about it. And she has to fight Gerald. Gerald has to fight her in order to train. Uncle Grandfather also just pervs on her a lot, telling her to put the hamburgers on the high shelf so he can see her butt. That's basically his entire character, Uncle Grandfather. He's just perving on Brenda in every single time she's on the screen. I thought her name was Linda, considering how much he butchers her name trying to say it with his accent, but her name really doesn't matter throughout the entire series, so it doesn't actually, and none of it matters. Anyways, Gerald, he sets off on his journey, right? But before setting off, Uncle Grandfather also gives him one of the greatest creations to ever exist, Action Hot Dog. He does his little catchphrase, and this catchphrase was used for the Karibo in Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
My hairy balls will make sure he won't take us down.
Which I didn't know until I started watching this. I was like, wait a minute. This show has like 6 different references in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Oh my god, everything makes sense now. But yeah, the hot dog basically just says that one line constantly, and he's just an annoying little shit that doesn't actually help with anything, and he's got a little hot dog bun butt. So they're setting out on this journey. Gerald starts singing on a cloud. Very sad, very, you know, he wants to fix his hair. And they meet up with the first antagonist, question mark, Catman. A very deadly man, Catman. He's a cat man. He's a man in a cat suit, but you know, don't tell him that, because he's like, what cat suit? What are you talking about? And he just kind of exists. But then Gerald comes across a bear carrying Space Ghost, and he just puts Space Ghost down and then starts chasing Gerald. I'm sure you've started to notice that this show is just a bunch of random events and like non sequitur jokes. It's just all over the place. Very typical Adult Swim humor. Kind of reminds me of Smiling Friends in a way, just with the absolute randomness, right? Or Robot Chicken or Aqua Teen Hunger Force, etc., etc. I like it. I like that kind of humor. Listen. But after Space Ghost gets, you know, mauled by a bear, basically, and Gerald's chased away, we cut to this home. And in this home, we see Kafio and his robot. I think it's Kafio. It might be Koifo. I don't know. But he's the main antagonist. He's got this big glowing hair. It's perfect hair. You know, it's very perfect. It's constantly changing colors. He looks just like Uncle Grandfather, although we never actually know if he's related to him, I don't think. And he talks with this very interesting cadence. He's talking like this, and like I can't even really do it right now anyway.
Are you calling Catman undependable?
Yes, pussy Catman.
Yeah, you know what? Suck it.
It's the Trojan Judas Hairnet. Battle Twee.
He's a very funny voice, and this is yet another character that inspired Little Karibo on, at least I assume, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged during the, I think it was Awaken the Dragon arc. Darts, the main antagonist of that, he changed it so the guy's hair was changing colors and he talked exactly just like him.
Hey, now you will suffer dwarf. Why? Wet whoop. Wow. Yow. Wet whoop. Come on. Water pole. Okay, I'm just doing this.
I thought he just did that because maybe the dub sounded like that. I never watched that series dub, but like, no, that's what he was referencing. I find that hilarious because I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Little Karibo, if you ever see this video, please make more than an episode a year. Can we finish the first series, please? Can we finish Duel Monsters or whatever the hell the first series is called? I've been watching this shit for like 15 years. I watched your Bonds Beyond Time movie when I was like on a trip to Florida with my friends. So, like over a decade ago. Like, come on. Anyways, after meeting the antagonist, he's like, oh, we gotta stop Gerald from getting the Tuna Mountain. They never really explain why. It's just a bunch of bullshit. But he sends this magical tree after him. He constantly belittles the tree, but he sends it. The tree is constantly smiling, and he just screams. His entire dialogue is screaming.
I have sex with dogs! What's up with that?
And that's basically the first episode. It ends not actually giving any kind of satisfying ending. We see inflatable arm tube man in the background of the credits, while some random, it's all random nonsense, but it's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a fantastic first episode.
You mean people are getting nude?
Now, mind you, after this first episode, they still had a bit of a block left. So instead of Squidbillies, they had Early, Meatwad, and Sharko on basically a little Space Ghost interview, which was interesting to say the least. I actually remember seeing this somehow. I don't know, maybe they reran it, because like obviously I was 5 when this came out, but for some reason I vividly remember seeing this exact thing somewhere.
Can I have some? Yeah, let's get some candy.
Good idea. Roll that vagina out here and let's have a look at it.
Anyways, on the episode 2. In the second episode, we see that Gerald has survived the bear attack. I forgot to mention that in the last couple frames, the bear was attacking Gerald and he used a tree as a way to escape it. Even though, if you know anything about bears, they can climb trees way better than a person can, and that's not a good place to hide from them. Not a good place at all, especially brown ones. No, you're just gonna die. I mean, you're gonna die regardless, but the tree's probably not the best place to hide. I wouldn't climb a tree. I would, I don't know, probably just not be near bears to begin with. But then we get this really sick, random anime opening with a wolf, and it's actually pretty decent. Not that I listened to a single word. Also, if you've noticed, there's a weird filter over this episode. I'm not sure if it was the place that I watched it on or it just came out with the episode. I'm pretty sure it's literally it just came out with it because there's a fan dub now, and it's a fan dub by Adult Swim, so all the words are just wrong. In a minute, you will see that the characters are talking, and all the subtitle even tries to do is talk about like liking poop and needing to eat poop and needing to learn how to poop, and they really like to talk about poop in this one for some reason. But we're back at the dojo. The old man, Uncle Grandfather, he is riding Brenda. It's not revealed until after the guy enters the room, but we see that there's a person at the door. He's honking on the door. He's knocking on the door. It's like, let me in. There's a bunch of nonsense. They really like to just say a whole lot of words that don't really mean much. Uncle Grandfather's just trying to ask him to be nude, dead or nude. And the young man comes in. The old man tries to escape because he is not a nude. And the young man explains why he's there, I think. I'll just play this scene and you can hear the kind of dialogue I had to listen to the entire 70 minutes I spent watching this entire series.
The protecting stone makes this Yu-Gi-Oh! Disappear.
Oh, yeah.
Which means the Miyagi crystals will help very much in searching for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Barrier.
Sure.
That means the others won't be able to hunt for us since things move more easily the closer they are to human form.
All right.
The Shaku is being attracted to the debris, and for now they're...
Enough.
You can see why I don't remember a lot of what happened. So after he's done explaining this, Uncle Grandfather tells Brenda to attack him. Just to attack the young man. His name's Young Man, according to the wiki. I couldn't find out his name. And then the bear joins in for some reason. The bear is everywhere. The bear is everywhere. It cuts back to Gerald and he's with the hot dog. It's evening, so they end up just falling asleep on the grass. Then it cuts to Corneo or Coffeo. God damn it, their names. I don't know their names. Coffeo, he's on his spaceship now and he's trying to get in touch with Catman. He's like, hey, what's the update on Gerald or some crap? And the Catman, he's not doing anything. He's got to go into work today, you know? So that wasn't very productive at all. And then it cuts back to the dojo where Uncle Grandfather is reading, trying to read, and he's like, you know what? Stop fighting. Cuts to the young man. The young man was not fighting Brenna. In fact, he was just spanking her. I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this on YouTube because it is really just her bare ass is just there. And he's just spanking her. There's handprint marks on it and everything. Uncle Grandfather approves of him. The young man says he's the king of animals, and then he gives him this hamburger necklace that will come up earlier or later or something. I don't know. As per usual, the subtitles are fantastic. Hopefully I remember to put this in the B-roll, but this one says, "Follow me, animals, hurry, or the rocket bear will fly up your butt." Cutting back to Gerald now, because we like cutting all over the place in this 11-minute episode. Gerald is met by Ra, the anime god, and he just kind of spews his bullshit too. And then they meet up at the convenience store where they see Catman. Catman's there, and he doesn't want to be bothered, so he pulls out a giant gun and threatens them. Cutting back to Coffio, we see him in his room, jumping on a bed. He's got this robot who's constantly transforming, and that's about that interaction. And then it cuts back again to Gerald. A lot of cutting in this episode, lots of it. He finally sees Tuna Mountain in the horizon, and then he starts walking to it. I know I've said "and then" like 100 times. It's probably not good for the video, is it? He starts walking toward Tuna Mountain, and this beautiful outro song starts playing. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's typical anime, ending credits type stuff. It's beautiful. Honestly, the music in this is not even bad, and that's the worst part, because it takes up like some of them take up like 2 minutes of the show, and the show's only 11 minutes long. But yeah, that was episode 2, if you want to even call it a fucking episode.
The tornado's about to suck up my bold nephew. Awesome.
So the next episode starts off with the tree getting a pair of jeans. I guess he got from the store from Catman. I'm not sure. I don't remember. We see another fantastic intro, and it cuts to this spaceship. Coffio, he's using a telescope to look down at the planet to spy on Gerald, I assume, which is just hilarious. And he's got Astronomical Cat, the Astro Cat. He is in the pool, and he orders him to go fly and take care of business. And also the transforming robot's there, and he's just being useless as per usual, because all he ever does is transform and nothing else. But he's in the pool. It cuts to Uncle Grandfather in the studio. Well, not studio. What the hell am I talking about? The dojo. And he was on the roof looking right back at not Uncle Grandfather, Coffio. I guess they were both using telescopes to look at each other from space and at space. I don't know anymore. I guess it wasn't a telescope. It was a spyglass. I don't know terms, man. Do I look like someone who has a good vocabulary? Come on. Uncle Grandfather's eating a banana, and then all of a sudden, Ra, the god of anime, he shows up, and he threatens and argues with Uncle Grandfather, but you know what? He won't take it. So Uncle Grandfather, he summons a sentient hot dog bun, and it chases Ra around and eventually just snuffs him out. He has to teleport away, or he gets captured by the hot dog. I'm not sure which, or I guess the bun. It's not a hot dog. Brenda comes in, he pervs on her, and she leaves the room, and then we cut back to Gerald, who is attached to a bathtub, and the tree's holding him because there's a tornado, there's a storm happening. I forgot to mention that there was a storm in the beginning, now it's really bad, there's a tornado. But then we find out the tornado, the tornado's like an actual dude, and he is when I heard this guy's voice, the tornado's voice, I started cracking up. I was literally like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting in my bed, and I hear this thing speak for the first time. I lost my shit, dude. I lost my shit.
Say, what are you fellas doing in the woodsy forest?
Don't get too close! He'll fuck you up!
The tornado's actually friendly, but he does have like this bipolar attitude where sometimes he's just like, oh, I'm gonna stab the tree. And he gets red eyes and he starts talking like a meanie, and it's so funny, dude. By the way, the subtitles are still here, and I'm pretty sure it's literally just an episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force or something, like the actual dialogue, but it's in the subtitles of this show. Because Meatwad, Frylock, Master Shake, and Carl are constantly mentioned during the entire episode during the subtitles. And it has completely nothing to do with the scene whatsoever. It cuts back to Coffeo. He's checking up on Catman. Catman's house is a giant litter box. I love this show. The inside of it is also a litter box with like a couch. Whoever designed the houses in this show deserves just praise, I guess. Coffeo's trying to, ask, why can't I speak English? Catman, he's like, yo, Catman, what are you doing? Like, you gotta go stop Gerald from Tuna Mountain or whatever. I don't know. Every time Coffeo speaks, half the time I don't understand what he's trying to say, dude. And it's not like the subtitles help. The subtitles don't have anything to do with the show. And the robot's there too, just transforming, being useless. It cuts back to the young man. He's got a ton of animals in this crappy little car, and he's driving around on these insane roads and eventually just falls into a hole. Cuts back to Gerald and crew. Everyone's like, oh, they're worried. The lights turn off. Everything becomes dark even though they're outside. It turns out Brenda, she's speaking a bunch of Japanese gibberish into an ear that was in a box that I don't remember anyone ever talking about. I guess it's the ear. I mean, it's Gerald's ear. I forgot to mention this in the pilot episode. Gerald's ear does get cut off by Brenna. I should have probably mentioned that. Maybe I'll remember to put that as B-roll. But I guess the ear was important because she's whispering to the ear, and Uncle Grandfather with some cops break in and find out that she's doing it, and Uncle Grandfather's pissed. He's like, no, Brenda, you don't know what you do. You have started the cat bun war, which leads to us seeing the cat bun war starting. It's starting. The prophesized cat bun war. It has happened, and that's the end of episode 3. And of course, the young man and his animals are caught right in the middle in the hole that's in the middle of the battle of the cat bun war. Of a bunch of hot dog, bun, and cat PNG ready to play stick war, basically. Remember that? Remember that on like Addicting Games or Armored Games, Stick War, remember that? God, I miss my childhood so much. But you know what? I can dunk a basketball now, so there's a yin and yang to everything. But yeah, that was episode 3.
Swordfish is good. Yeah. Lightly seasoned swordfish.
Episode 4 starts right where we left off with the cats and buns going at it. They're at war. They're killing each other. It's not good. It's not a very good thing. The young man, he's stuck in the middle between them. The animals, they're bickering about food, and the young man realizes that the burger necklace is glowing. So he tries to use the burger necklace for its magical properties to stop the war or something. But Astronomical Cat comes by and steals his entire hand, which obviously, it's not good for the young man. And then we get a different intro. This one more kind of like Scooby-Doo like. I don't know. I like the vibe. I like the vibe of it. But after the intro, we cut back to Uncle Grandfather, and he's laying it in to Brenna, and he's like, you know what, you gotta pay me back somehow, and then he just goes under her to look, upskirting her, even though she really doesn't even have it. Like, she has a skirt, but it's not blocking anything. And he does this because he's upset because he has to try and get the cats and buns to do a ceasefire for some reason.
Dinner, meow. Get on that little burn. Okay, I got somewhere I got to be, so come on, sign it. Come on, sign it.
Because he's involved with it, I guess. I don't know. None of this is ever explained. We cut back to Coffeo on his spaceship after zooming into his house for way too long. They're talking about trying to sell the house or lease it or whatever. And Coffeo gets upset at the robot, tells him to turn into an atomic bomb, and he does. He blows up the ship. Coffeo sings about it, and then all of a sudden the ship is still there apparently somehow, but the robot died. Astronomical Cat comes back with his wonderful theme song as per usual, and he brings him the hand and the burger necklace. So then Coffeo calls Uncle Grandfather, and we cut back to that. Uncle Grandfather is trying to make a sex tape between a vacuum cleaner and a cake for some reason. Coffeo tells him that he has killed Uncle Grandfather's son, and obviously Uncle Grandfather, he's like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't even have a son. You're retarded. He literally says that.
Guess what?
Why?
I killed your son.
What are you talking about?
I killed him.
I don't have a son.
Cause I killed him.
You're retarded.
And nothing really happens about this. Anime God shows up and he asks Kavio, you know what? I want to buy the house. So that Astronomical Cat has to go and take a background check of him, which means he has to fly all the way off screen and then go to the computer. This show's so goofy, bro. Anime God sneezes, which makes the spaceship crash, I guess. And Kafio is sent back down to Earth. He gets run over by a drunk baby. You heard that right. That'll come up very soon. After he gets shot by Catman with his big gun, but he only shoots one bullet despite the gun looking like a giant machine gun, Gatling gun, right? It makes more of a shotgun sound, but only fired one bullet, even though it's a Gatling gun. I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. But Kafio's like, wait, Gerald's still alive. We need to take care of this. And Catman's like, no, I don't. I don't care. That's basically what that interaction boils down to. Cutting back to the drunken child, the drunken baby who is driving, crashes in the same hole as the young man, and the animals want to eat the baby. The young man is just perplexed by all the terrible instances that have been happening to him. He's like, you can't live here. Go away, drunken baby. The monkey does find a six-pack from the drunken baby, so that's cool. That's good. That's good for them. And then Uncle Grandfather is interrupted when the cops show up, when he's making the vacuum cleaner bang the keg. The episode then ends with this.
Can you get this vacuum cleaner to this cake?
On your knees.
Episode 5 opens up with Gerald and the Twister, Tree, and Hot Dog. As they're walking the journey, they're still traveling to Tuna Mountain. The Twister then stabs the tree and then they get into a little bit of a fight. And the tree's yelling constantly is very hilarious. I started cracking up during this, of course. And the Hot Dog's just being an annoying piece of shit as per usual. Gerald walks past Catman and Catman has an encounter with the squirrel.
You guys...
And they're like, oh man, we need a motorcycle to get to Tuna Mountain, right? On foot is just sucks, right? The anime god shows up, gives them LSD, and Gerald passes out. When he wakes up, Kafio's there to challenge him to a racing duel on a motorcycle. Now, of course, they can't do that in the dense forest, as Gerald points out. So the anime god makes them a deal. He can get all of this sorted out with the, like a racetrack and everything, if Kafio buys his deal on the house. And the only way the anime god can afford the house is if Gerald buys his tickets. So they make a three-way deal and the race is on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The young man and his giraffe are the narrators or announcers. I don't know what the hell to call them. I don't watch racing. I think it's lame. I only play Sonic Racing Crossworlds on my other YouTube channel that you should check out. Don't actually do that. It's just gaming slop, man. Before the race, Catman reveals that he brought an alligator to try and thwart Gerald. And it ends up just kind of, actually it might be a crocodile. It ends up just kind of attacking him. Kafio makes the tree very unhappy. And then Gerald puts him in his place even more by saying that I can't have you because the tree, his helmet's too big. He's gonna get in the way. He can't ride in the motorcycle. Brenna's there to do the little flag thing to let the race start. And we're off, ladies and gentlemen. But oh no, the crocodile is also on a motorcycle for some reason. But it's going after Kafio. It's going after him, the bad guy. So Kafio calls upon the astronomical cat who was previously filming the entire thing, and now it picks up the crocodile and puts it on Gerald's car. It's attacking him now. But thankfully, the hot dog turned into its own motorcycle transformation somehow, and is now fighting the crocodile on the track. The race is getting so fast that Kafio's hair falls off, becoming almost a ramp on the track. And after having to explain this to Twisty like 100,000 times, he finally puts his cigarette on the gas thing to explode it so Gerald can go flying towards Tuna Mountain. And then we get an outro. That was the whole episode.
From Los Angeles, California, Geese.
Episode 6 and the last episode of season 1 is is a bit of a doozy, let me tell you. We open up with this weird Broadway act with the bear and giraffe singing back and forth. Then it cuts quickly to a little weird commercial that I could barely like even see before showing us this sitcom with Gerald and this hot blonde girl, and they're talking to each other. Apparently she's his mom, and their dad turned into a Japanese bear. And the dialogue, so like I'll just play some clips from it, I guess, because I don't know how to explain this.
I woke up drunk. Weren't you?
I'm too young to drink. That bear sure looks hungry, even if he is our dad.
Gerald then just runs off of a cliff while singing, and like how he is terrible and how he hates himself and how he's useless and wants to off himself. Like the last episode he was flying the Tuna Mountain from the motorcycle. What the hell happened? After the song, we cut back that the hot chick is talking to Gerald again, and there's a bunch of pheasants in their kitchen eating the floor and stuff. I don't know. Then it cuts to bear and a shark wrestling on stage. Like I said, I don't know what the hell's happening. After the bear and shark, we cut to these Japanese executives. You know, they're talking about shows and cutting them and stuff. Space Ghost comes in and they basically just shit on him. Every time this poor guy's on screen, they just kind of shit on him and like kill him. The bear is back with the jetpack. The bear tries to fly to the moon and then he dies, but then he gets angel wings because he's a dead person now, so he can actually fly to the moon, and apparently that's just a sitcom that's coming soon too. It then cuts to this anime high school thing about the bear, which has every character in it. Kafio's the teacher, he's doing roll call. Brenna's in a very, very nice outfit. Kafio's trying to call the bear out, but the bear is invisible because he's a ghost, so he can't hear him, he can't see him. And the bear just ends up killing everyone in the room, and he's like, oh, I guess he would, yeah, after all. And of course, Uncle Grandfather's there to look under Brenna's skirt. Then we get a little commercial about, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know. It's her hamburgers and buttocks, and Uncle Grandfather's there to just look at it, I guess. Finally, Gerald and the crew is back. They're walking to Tuna Mountain. I guess them using the motorcycle to get to the mountain didn't do anything. I don't know what the hell happened here. But the young man is there. He's telling them to the judges. He's telling the judges to judge. Who are the judges? These guys in the bed. And they're talking about having sex and stuff. And that was the episode. That was the end of season 1 with the cat man playing with a ball as the credits. And then a few years later, an April Fool's joke happens. And episode 7 comes out. The first and only episode of season 2. And oh boy, is it a doozy. We start off seeing the guards in bed, and it cuts to the intro. And after said intro, we finally get back to Gerald on his journey, right? He has a little bit of amnesia, but he remembers he needs to get to Tuna Mountain for perfect hair. They're back. The motorcycle crash actually happened. The tornado stabs the tree again. And Wetsy, a new character, shows up. He's flooding literally everything. But thankfully, they did have this gigantic bathtub to use as a boat. I'm not sure how well that actually would happen. I mean, I guess it does keep the water out, but do they have the drain clogged? Like, wouldn't the pipe that goes for where the drain is, like, wouldn't that hole leak water in? I don't know. But Gerald asks, what would what's the internet gonna say? And when we cut to Uncle Grandfather, he's watching God knows what on the internet. Brenna comes in and he's like, you know what, Brenna, I'm gonna put on this human-sized condom. Watch you do tasks as per usual. At least he has protection now. The anime god has purchased the house, but Wetsy has destroyed it with his flooding. And Kafio's just, you know, he's like, I got one over on you. He's bouncing on the bed still. And it is revealed that the anime god and the blonde woman and the bear are living together. There's also a kid. The kid dies, and the blonde woman makes a very scary face. Uncle Grandfather is using Brenna to push the dojo up so it's not being flooded by Wetsy. And Kafio ends up recruiting Catman yet again with his giant gun. in a boat, in a rowboat. The guy owns a spaceship and he's on a rowboat now. And he sings a wonderful song to Catman. Then we see Gerald on the television and he has like this epiphany moment. And after all that, finally, he apparently off screen, off camera, we don't even get to see it. He conquers Tuna Mountain. He defeats the guy, does the thing, you know, gets the item, and he has perfect hair forever. He has hair just like Coffeo. It's constantly changing color, and every time he goes past the tree, it changes into another iconic anime hairstyle. And there's a bunch of fish behind him. Half of them aren't even clipping into the water. It's like Ark. Anime God is watching television with his family, even though I'm pretty sure, didn't the kid die? I thought the kid died. The young man and the baby and the giraffe are safe and sound on a floating car, the car that they crashed into the hole. I don't know how they got it out of there. The giraffe won't shut up about food, and the young man is very confused as to where his hand went. But then they witness the crocodile. The crocodile is there, and on its back, a cat and a bun are still fighting, and they end up killing each other. Well, I guess the cat wins, but then the buns come down from the heavens and smite him. And they finally arrive at the dojo where the episode ends. Also, when this episode aired, right after it aired the entire first season backwards, so like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, with that filter and the crappy subtitles, where it was like either racist Japanese-ish stuff, scripts from other shows basically, or it's literally just nonsense. I didn't realize that at first. The website I was downloading the videos from, they had some of those episodes, and I thought that was just a one-time thing. No, apparently there's technically 2 versions of the show, one with the subtitles and filters and the other one without it. But there, at least I got that correction out of the way. Listen, I record these when I'm doing half the research. Like, I just watched the show and then started recording. Leave me alone, all right? Like and subscribe. I love you.
One of the hams has a bomb in it.
God damn it!
The first and only episode of season 3 comes out 8 years later. Technically, it was 2 episodes because for some reason they aired the same episode back to back, but with slight differences. And this show's so random, dude. It's so stupid. But it opens with Uncle Grandfather summarizing Gerald's adventure while he's training his trying to train his third muscle, if you get what I'm saying. Meanwhile, Gerald and Action Hot Dog have arrived at Tuna Mountain. They're there, but for some reason Tuna Mountain explodes because Uncle Grandfather has turned it into Tunaminium. Uncle Grandfather is laughing about this, breaking into someone's car as the intro plays with screenshots of the previous episodes just kind of flare up. The secret military policemen then show up at the temple. He refuses them at first, Uncle Grandfather, but then they tell him that they're just cable repairmen. So he lets them in. And when we see Uncle Grandfather, he's got a cable attached to his ding-dong that's going into a cake. And the policemen watch him as he goes for the phone, where Coffeo is on the other line. And he's like, Coffeo, you owe me $481 in back rent. God, I wish rent was that inexpensive. Can you, isn't it crazy that rent was that cheap only like 10 years ago? Like, that was probably expensive for rent 10 years ago. I know my mom and father paid like maybe $800 when I was a kid for like this beautiful 2-story, actually 3-story if you count the basement, fully furnished apartment. I don't know if it was fully furnished when they got it, but I mean, like, it was like a house. It was a house basically. Like, yeah, we were in an apartment complex. There was people on both sides of our walls, but like, it was gigantic. $800 for that? Meanwhile, in this shit box, this luxury apartment, we're paying $1,700 a month for a single bedroom that has like roaches just already in the complex already, in the like basically ghetto. Anyways, rant aside, he's yelling at Coffeo. They're making offers. He's like, I'll send you frozen balloons. And then Uncle Grandfather's like, I'll send you a ticking turkey. And it doesn't really go anywhere. He repeats that the rent is due and he hangs up on him. Then we cut to the office with Gerald. He is doing office work, and Action Hot Dog is helping him. The young man comes in and he tells him that he's preparing for the wedding with Brenna. The young man and Brenna are getting married. Yes. He's telling Gerald that he has to get them ready in 8 minutes. It's constantly bringing up that they need to do it in 8 minutes. And it is revealed that the young man has Coffeo's lost ear on the back of his head. At the home, Coffeo's home, he is building a large cardboard robot in reminiscence of the robot that blew up a ship but actually didn't. Astronomical Cat then flies away, and Coffeo reveals that in 15 to 20 years his cardboard box army will be complete, and then they will help him out of the house. We then see Catman and Anime God basically get into an argument because Anime God is smoking even though he's fire, and he keeps trying to explain that to him. Rod then tries to lure Catman into the garage with a cat toy. We then cut back to Gerald and the young man. By the way, I got the sequence of events wrongs. The conversation about the ear and everything that happens after the little Catman and Rod interaction. My bad, guys. I'm not re-recording that bit. I'm not. But the young man tells Gerald he did everything wrong. Her name's not even Brenna, it's Margaret. He needs the ballroom, he needs the wedding cakes, everything in 8 minutes. That's Gerald's new job to do. The fire extinguishing system then activates and the water begins to rise as Gerald then rows himself out in a mop bucket and just starts singing about how he's gonna get her back. Apparently Space Ghost has been watching this entire time. That was basically that whole interaction with Space Ghost. We then cut to Gerald in the kitchen, and Sherman, the giraffe, has eaten all the food, but the giraffe is still hungry. And Gerald notices that he has the burger necklace, which is the key to getting back Brenna, but of course the giraffe eats it. And the hour of the wedding has begun. Everyone from the show is there. Gerald makes an announcement, trying to keep people away from the appetizers, the poisonous balloons, and the groom himself, who needs to stand in a very particular spot for, a reason. Brenna, who looks just incredible, begins walking down the corridor. Of course, Uncle Grandfather then slides under her legs, and Brenna is holding a tray of hamburgers because she loves to just do that. Rod then comments about how confused he is about the show, and presumably the young man is shot. Someone's shot, and it turns to black. Action Hot Dog is playing a song on the piano while the credits roll, and of course Coffeo's cardboard boxes are all wearing his hair and just invade the town. And that was the final and last scene of Perfect Hair Forever.
You are spaghetti dinner.
Perfect Hair Forever is one of those shows that just defies all explanation. But here I am, hopefully 30 minutes later, having attempted to explain it anyway, most likely very poorly. But the truth is, Perfect Hair Forever isn't just some forgotten Adult Swim footnote. It's a time capsule of an era where late night TV felt like the Wild West. It captured that mid-2000s vibe perfectly, when anime was absolutely booming and parody was finding a new life on the internet, all while being absurd, offensive, and hysterical in equal measure. Revisiting this now, the show feels both nostalgic and just utterly fresh because, frankly, nothing else has ever been quite like Perfect Hair Forever. From Gerald's earnest quest for follicles and Coffeo yelling "if" at every turn. From Uncle Grandfather's hamburgers to Action Hot Dog's earworm chant. The series is a chaotic collage of ideas that shouldn't work together, yet somehow did. Or maybe it's funnier when it didn't. It lampooned anime at a time when many in the West were just discovering it. And it did so with a knowing wink to all of us who stay up late watching weird cartoons. Way too late. I need to stop staying up till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, dude. It's not good for your health. I am a personal trainer, or at least I was. I should be better than this. There's also this warm, fuzzy feeling of Perfect Hair Forever in Adult Swim's family. It's a reminder at how daring Adult Swim is, and still can be. This was a network that literally gave us a fake anime as a prank, and then years later said, hey, remember that fake anime? Here's one more episode for the good old times. And also it's season 2 and season 3, though just the one episode. It's so funny. That is just love. Twisted, absurd love for the fans, for the viewers. And as the viewers, we felt like we were in on something special, something super special, awesome, if you will. So whether you're a longtime fan that remembers the April Fool's hijinks, or a curious newcomer wondering what happens when Adult Swim does anime, I hope this little deep dive thing that I've created gave you a taste of Perfect Hair Forever. I spoiled the whole series, so you should still go watch it because there's tons of little inside jokes. You could watch this show literally 3 times over and still find new stuff. It's like a Monty Python movie. There's so much shit crammed in there. Perfect Hair Forever is an acquired taste, but is one well worth acquiring. It is the equivalent of a wild fever dream you had after binging anime for hours on end, and then Adult Swim went and animated it. Nostalgic, nutty, and it unashamedly itself. Perfect Hair Forever remains, in its own odd way, perfect forever. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Dakosity Live. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm pretty sure I said this before, but I have plenty of Adult Swim stuff and just cartoons and anime as well on the channel, so please go check that out. I recommend the Xavier Renegade Angel, the Wonder Shojin, the Robot Chicken, and the Aqua Teen Hunger Force videos that I've made. They are probably the best videos I've ever made in my entire life. And I've made a lot of videos, literally thousands of videos between gaming slop to this, like actual stuff that I'm proud of. So I really do hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that I missed. Do the la 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 and all that nonsense. I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Again, thank you so much for watching.